Hey everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Arman Askari, and in this video, I'm going to use some basic Beautiful Soup library methods and Pandas to do some web scraping and then display some data in Pandas data frame and then do some cleaning as well too. This is a tutorial for the beginners and a project for a beginner. So if you do not have any experience with any of these libraries, Beautiful Soup or Pandas, this is perfect for you. If you do have some and you just want to refresh your mind, also is an amazing project to just challenge your skills. Let's get into this. Alright, so what I have done, I have created this template for you all, so you can all go to the description of this video and download it. This template has all the things that we're going to do in this video, step by step, and it will be a good help if you would like to just pause the video, do it yourself, or I do recommend you to just watch the whole video and learn the methods, and then after you finish this video, go to this template and try to do it yourself. The video gonna be divided in two different sections: the web scraping part, a Beautiful Soup, and then we're gonna do some pandas and clean our data and then save our data as a CSV file. The website that we're going to web scrape is just our favorite website, Wikipedia. We're going to, this is basically divided government in the United States page, and we're going to basically go through this table and extract all the information that we see here. So year, Senate, House, is it Republican, Democrat, or President Party, what is the party, and then the name of the president, and then the years also on the left side. This has all the information all the way from the beginning days till 2025, which will be basically the year that this current office administration will end. Alright, now let's get into this project. So as always, the first thing we want to do for any type of Python project or any project is to just import our libraries. If you do not have Jupyter Notebook, which is what I'm using right now, you can just go get Anaconda, and then with Anaconda you can open Jupyter Notebook. It's totally free, and downloading Anaconda is very simple. Just go type Anaconda, download. You download it, you install it, very quick, couple clicks, and then you can open up Jupyter Notebook. And then all these packages like Pandas and Beautiful Soup and so many others are already installed within Anaconda. However, if you just want to do it in your own Jupyter Notebook, in your own or any other code editing software you're going to use, you can also use those as well too. But just make sure to go and install pip install Beautiful Soup and pip install Pandas. Alright, so the libraries that we want is Beautiful Soup. So from BS4, we're going to import Beautiful Soup as soup. And then there's another library that I forgot to actually mention, is requests. So if you also need to get that one, go pip install request. You can also get that one as well. So import request. And then the last but not least is Pandas. Pandas SP. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to request our web page. First thing I want you to do, come here and just come and copy this whole URL. And we're going to save it as a URL. And then we're going to make a request to this to this web page. We just do r equal request s. Always forget the s at the end. Dot get, and then our URL. Boom. Yes, this is going to be Q, not G. There you go. So next thing I want to do, I want to save this this R as a beautiful soup object, and I want to get the content of the HTML content of it. Content, we define a variable called content, and we do soup, and then we create an object within the soup, and we're gonna do that as r.cont. And then cont here is a request method. It's not a soup method. All right. Content is ent, right? Yes. Perfect. So if I want to just show you all the content, is basically all these things, all this HTML. You can make it more visible, but just adding a method called prettify. Prettify, I think I spelled it correctly. Or maybe TFI. Yeah. So this makes it a little bit better, as you see. But what is this HTML? So any web page that you use has an HTML code, which holds the content of that page. And there's also a CSS aspect, which is a styling. You know, the color red here is part of the CSS. And there's another part of this web page, which is a JavaScript part, which adds the functionality to this whole web page. But for the sake of this web scraping, we just only need to know the HTML. So to bring out the HTML for this web page, you just right click, and then you come here and click on inspect. And then there's the whole thing is basically the HTML content right now. And you can just open them up and see more in detail what's each one doing. But what I want you to do, I want you to click on this mouse button here. And then by doing that, you can just go to your web page and hover over anything, and then it will show you the specific HTML code for that. So for example, this is our table, right? This is the table. And then another thing I want to add about this whole HTML content, HTML code, is that usually when we're creating a web page, we store different elements that are all together in their own div. And div is basically, it's like a section of our web page. So here we see that this graph on top and this one and then the one below it probably are all in one div. And that div is this one. So if I click this, see everything is here. And if I open it, I can see the content within it. So the first thing I want to do, I want to be able to access this part of my HTML content. To do that, I just come here and then look at these different things that makes that div specific, like its ID or the class or attributes that it has. But the most unique thing about each HTML tag is the ID. So if there's an ID, you're good to roll with that, and because there's no other instance of this ID anywhere else. So I just copy that ID. And then I come right here. I'm just gonna, and I'm, as you see, it says, look at the div and the table of content. So my div is, I'm just gonna call it div equals to content dot, I want to find that div. So the BeautifulSoup library has a method called find, which you can tell it to find a div, and then you want to give it, you can also give it an ID, which the ID of it is this. So if I just run this part, I get that div. And see, here's a table that we're going to web scrape, and it is within that div. The next thing I want to do, I want to within this div find the table. And one of the attributes of this table is the style of it. So I just copy that style, come right here, I do something like, you can call it tables equals div dot find, and I want to do find all in case there's many. Find all basically finds you all instances which have the same attributes that we're going to define in this parentheses. And I'm going to look for tables. And then you can write attrs as an attribute, and then equal, and then create a dictionary here. And then copy paste that part here, and then you just put colon, style, colon. All right. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I want to see what is the length of my table. So you can just come here, do ln, len. So it's 2, right? So I think the first table that I want to find is the table 0, right? The first element. So let's just access that. Say tables 0, and yes, this is a table I am looking for. So through this table 0, what I want to get, I want to define something called this table itself is equals to tables dot find, and then here I want to define something called find the table body, t body. As y'all can see, the headers are here. I don't really care about headers right now. And then so yeah, and then I want to find, don't forget, we're going from the table 0. I'm going to find the t body. All right, perfect. All right, so now we want to make a list of all the table data. Once again, we're coming back right here. Take a look at our table. So right now we have access to this whole table body, which just starts from here. And we have different table rows, and in each row we have table data, and which each of them is the year. And then this, if we expand this, the name of each president is within an A, which is a tag that we use for creating links. So what I need to do right now, I need to extract every single table data, and then the last element of my list will be the, I want to extract the A, basically the A tag. So all the table data and then A tags, right? So how am I going to do that? So to do this, I want to extract all this data here separately, and then I want to also get the president separately as well too, because these are all I can get them through the table data, but this one is an A tag. So here's what I want to do. I come right here, I say something like, I define a list, call it data or table data. My table data is a list. And then I have another one called president, which is also another list. And then I want to loop through different rows of this table. So for row in table dot find, so I'm going to find all. I'm going to find all of my table data, and then I'm going to do table rows, and I'm going to extract the table data. All right, so next thing I want to do, I want to say if in case my table row does not have a table data, I say if row dot find td. So I'm saying if there is a table data, I want to define a data, and this data is equals to what? I created a list, which is going to be R as a row for R in find for row dot find all table data. However, if you remember, I did say that I do not want to include this president column within the same list as is going to be year, Senate, House, and President Party. So I need to exclude this line. So what I'm gonna say, actually, instead of saying R, let me just say TD, table data. So what I'm gonna do is say define if not td dot find an A. So what this means, it means if my table data has no A tag, then do this process. And then I want to do something like td dot string to get all the strings, basically all the content within those tags. So what the td string does, it returns only the president. If I don't do the only the R, for example, here. If I don't do the td dot string, it will return this whole line. All right, let's just print the data and see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so as you all can see, we have a couple rows and then we have a couple nons, which means we did not find anything. So let's go back to this whole thing and see what's happening. So for example, for this row, we did not find any of them for 1865. Okay, so as you see here, is this R is within a B tag, which is the problem right here. So how are we going to eliminate that? We can define another condition, and we say if not td.find A and not td.find B. Okay, so let me just run this. So as you can see, if there is a B, we'll keep the list empty. So, but we need to still get those information, right? So instead of now doing that, we come right here and define an if. So we say if the data table is empty, we come here and define our data as, I'm just gonna copy paste it right here. And instead of td here, we're going to find all the B's. Oh, sorry, I need to put not data. Boom. Cool, so as you can see, we got all of the years and the Republican, Democrat, and all these things going on here. So we got all of the table rows perfectly. Last thing I want to do, we want to get the the president. So how we're going to do that? We're going to define something like, we say if row dot data, oops, sorry, if row dot find a, the president equals to row, or actual list, p dot string, and for p in what do you call that, row dot find a. All right. And then if you just print president here, boom, we got all the presidents and all the everything. All right, perfect. Oh, one thing though, I want to go back here and look at this. As you all can see, for example here, there are a couple rows that all have one present, so it means that table data does not have an A, right? So what I want to do, if I want to say if you do not find an A, I want you to basically keep the same president for that row. So how I'm gonna do that, I just come right here. Oh, by the way, I also need to append this, and I did president.append this whole thing. Or let me just back off a little bit. I'm gonna call this name dot append name. So I define an else here. I say if there was no president, then still append the previous name, because this name stays the same till we change it, right? So if we did not find an A, we'll keep the same one. All right, I think we should be good. Just want to double check everything. And then of course at the end right here, we're going to append the data to the row data. So table data dot append data. Perfect. The next thing we want to do, we want to save this list, the table data list, as a Panda data frame. So how are we going to do that? My df equals to pd dot data frame, and I'm just going to give it a table data, and then my columns, try to spell it right, will equal to year, Senate, house, I hope I'm spelling correctly, and president party. All right, or I'm just gonna do like this, party. Perfect. So now we're entering the Pandas section. Let's just look at our data frame. Perfect, looks good. Yeah. Ooh, I see a duplicate here. And a duplicate on top. Why is this happening? Okay, maybe I should do a find all here. Will this solve it? I don't think it's related, but let's just try this. Alright, I want to do something like this. I want to do data. I think I know what's happening. I think because I did not initiate my data to nothing before I begin each loop. Let's just do this. Hopefully this will work. I think this is it. Oh, actually, yes, this needs to be inside this guy. Yeah, my bad. Because, whew. Alright, I think we should be fine now. Oh, I see. This needs to be. Oh my god. Yes, because it was just adding the previous one. So if it was not going through the loop, it was still adding that. I don't know if it makes any sense, but like because this line that to append the data was not within my if. I know it's gonna solve the whole thing. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. All right, I'm just gonna define another column called present. Add that present as well too. So to define a column within Python Pandas, and also welcome to your tutorial to Python Pandas. To add a column to Python Pandas, you just do president, just do df brackets, and then define what you want to call that column. I'm gonna call it president, and then you assign the list or whatever that you have to that, and then my list is called what? President. Okay. And then if I just do df, I have them all there. All right. Regular. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, so next thing is regular expressions. Removing new line and useless brackets. All right, how are we going to do that? So first we want to remove the new line. As you see, we have a lot of new lines right here. Oh, before I do that, I want to just do something. So I did add the president right here, but it says join the list elements for president column. So what it means, you have a list of them right here. For example, for Biden, we have another E, and this is just because we did find all A's. And so how I'm going to do that, I'm just say the president equals president dot str dot join, and it's just a string method, and we're going to join them by and separate them by something like that. So now if I do the df, you will have all of them up. Okay, perfect. Just want to do this before I move to the next section. Removing new lines and useless brackets. So the Python panel itself has a replace method that uses regular expressions. So df.replace. And what are we going to replace? We're going to replace our that, and then we're going to replace this guy, new line, with basically nothing. And then we're going to, say here regex equals true. I'm just gonna add a new line right here below. See, as you can see, now all the new lines are eliminated. Okay, to get rid of useless brackets, we just do the same thing. Df equals df dot replace, and then r, boom, boom. We want to go this, and then star means everything, and then we just do this guy, I think, and then this guy, and then, oh, actually, so I want to get rid of everything before this little guy right here. So I do that, and then I do one of these and one of these, I'm pretty sure. And then I replace it with what? If nothing. And then regex equals true. Let's see if that worked. Oh, I got an error. str and str. Okay. Oh, I have a minus right here. I was like, what the hell is going on? Okay, now it's working. And as you all can see, we have removed all those extra stuff before Biden. So that's perfect. And then locating specific data point and changing it. Okay, so let's try to see if there's any specific data point that needs to be changed. For example, we have in the row 80, the president party should not be none, but it's none. So how I'm gonna change that? I'm going to do something like df dot look at dot or this, or actually let me just show this to y'all. So when I do look, it will bring all the information here. But if I do another bracket and then just put on president party in it, it's returning only the president party, which is none. And then I can just do Democrat because he's Democrat. And then if I rerun this again, it's fixed. I just want to double check if there's any other thing I need to change. Let's just do. Okay, so the head method through in Pandas, it returns you the head 30, the first 30 basically rows. And as you all can see here, we have another none right here at 10. So I just do that as a 10. And then who is this? Garfield Arthur 10. We go right here and then they're Republicans, so we just come put an R on it. Or I can just do it in a different line, so you all will have it in the GitHub of what I'm doing. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do, let's do this again. We have that this for Wilson, and we do need to change this one as well too. So this is going to turn also, let's go find Wilson. So he's also Democrat. So 28 is also gonna turn to D. See, these things like this sometimes happens, you know. I actually do not know why it didn't grab this specific one, but sometimes like HTML contents, if they're not consistent and we don't really expect that from Wikipedia, these things may happen, and you have a lot of edge cases that you need to look for. And then same thing for 28, but I want to look for the column called president. So, and then his name is Wilson. And then if I do one more below, and what was that, 29 as well? Perfect. And then if we just run it again, this all has been fixed and looks neat and clean. The last thing we want to do, we want to save it as a CSV file, sorry. We just do df to CSV, and then we just save it as what? Government demographic. Just gonna copy this from here, just because I am not the best when it comes to typing. .cs3, and then obviously we just do index false, which means we do not include the index column within our when you're saving it as a CSV file. So false. And then if I want to read it, I just do df equals to pd pandas dot read CSV, and then we do same thing. Boom. And then you just define the df again. You have it. Perfect. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for keeping up with me in this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe, like, and let me know how you felt about it. The link, the code, and everything is in the description. Make sure to check it out. The what do you call it? My GitHub. I have other projects there too, and also you're probably gonna see some type of YouTube video to watch right now about pandas and web scraping as well here too. But till the next video, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, yes I am.